Welcome back. I'm Cody Hendrickson. We're going to take a look at how we can do more of the database operations. Specifically today, we're working on the update command. This is how we can change the values existing inside our database. So again, we're using that same slide to start off while we're talking about what we're working with the entire time. And so we're looking at how we can do create and add in our previous video, so we can do how to insert with that. We've always been working with the idea of reading, so we can use the select query to retrieve data out of our database. And today we're going to take a look at the update. Update is how I can replace existing fields or fields worth a single field or multiple fields worth of values inside of the existing database. And then again, later on we'll be taking a look at how we can act like a doll and exterminate all of our data. But we'll keep a look at that and keep going from there. So we're talking about the idea of changing our data. We want to make sure we can change what's existing inside our database. We want to make things that reflect the things that are happening inside our data, making sure it matches the real world. When we're doing that, we have to actually identify the fields we're working with to do this. Now, we have to use another command on top of update, just like we do with insert head into. With update, we require the set command. And so we're going to specify which fields we're working with using that set command. We're going to be using this in the idea of field value pairs, and we're working with the fields. The fields need to be on the left-hand side of the equal sign. If you try and put it on the right-hand side, it's going to give this weird error saying it doesn't match the instruction on the table. I know. We don't want to have those crappy, weird errors. So instead, we make sure that our field is on the left-hand side of the equal sign, and that's the easy way to remember that. Now, there is one small little itty bitty thing. It's, a tiny proviso or something like that you might want to keep track of. If there is no where clause, you're going to change everything. And this is where we get the amazing power of Jeff Goldblum, because you're so preoccupied whether or not you could, you didn't stop to think if you should. That where clause, we don't have to use it, but we really, really do. It is an automatic requirement. You need to have a where clause anytime you're doing an update. So here we have our update structure. We have the update keyword, of course, and that's for our update clause, and we have the table name just like that. And now we're going to use that set clause right here. This is where we're going to specify what fields we're working with. And again, you can either have one field, two fields, n fields. However many fields you have, you just separate them by commas between the individual values. And so some field equals value, other fields equals values as needed. Again, just separate them out right there. And then where, and then the table name field, relational operator, or an equality operator to some other value. And this includes the greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, not equal to, or equal to. I know, it's weird. We're using any of those basic values. You can use between, in, or the other structures with that. But this is the idea that you have to do some form of comparison on that value before you make those changes. If you don't, you change everything. I know, we'll talk about it. So here we have an example of a single field update. So we have update zip code. We're going to set the city field to be the value of Kearns. Where am I going to set it to Kearns? When the zip code value is 84118. And so that will change every instance inside that database where it has a city name of Kearns to be a zip code, It's going to change every single value where the zip code value is 84118 to now have the city name of Kearns instead of whatever was previously there. So if there are 15 lines that have an 84118 zip code, then 15 people now have a city of Kearns attached to them. So that's where it's going to be working with that. So just as an FYI, it changes every single one. It's not just a one-time change, it's every space that matches that where clause condition. Kind of a big deal. If we're going to do multiple fields, the same basic approach. Again, it's the update and then the table name. Then we set the fields we're working for. In this case, I'm going to set city to be unincorporated Salt Lake County, because Kearns really isn't a city. It's just a township, some tiny little arbitrary specification. We're working for government systems. And then state, I'm going to change it down to lowercase ut, well, because it's Utah and it needs a lowercase standing anyway. And then where, I'm going to update this again where the zip code is equal to 84118. And so every time I see 84118 inside my zip code database, it's going to then change all that value. So every time who references it, this will change every person's associated value to be unincorporated Salt Lake County, even if they're actually in, say, for example, West Valley City, West Jordan, or any place where 8418 might also fit. And that's one of the joys we have of having some weird systems right there. Now, what if update zip code set city equals Kearns, 228 rows? I believe the term is cringe. But wait, we can fix this. We have the rollback command. Transaction control can take care of some of our problems with this, and my rollback is complete. The changes are gone. So we can fix stupid mistakes if we make them. We're using the rollback command, but this is why you really need to make sure we don't do a Jeff Goldblum approach. We do what we actually think we need to do. Never set an update command without that where block. We want to make sure we not have to worry about doing that rollback on there, because yeah, the where clause makes things so much nicer. Make sure to do your code properly the first time, and life is better and happy. Hope this is helpful for you. Cheers and have a great day.